Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast, a place where we focus on the business side of art to help you attract more customers, increase profits, to ultimately live a life of creativity and financial freedom. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and this week we're going to be talking about the upcoming 31-day challenge. This is the 6th year in a row that I would start my year with a 31-day challenge. Most of you probably know what it is already, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time going into all of that, but just to describe it for any of the newbies, anybody that's never dove into a 31-day challenge, it is committing to creating 31 things within 31 days. And that could be, like we've done in the past, 31 paintings. So starting January 1st, you complete one painting, probably something small, probably something that takes you an hour or two, nothing crazy, but also, something that's of value. And you could start off doing one painting per day. Some people do that. Some people complete something every single day. So you'd complete a painting on the 1st and the 2nd and the 3rd. And by the 7th, you'd have 7 paintings. Or some people, batch and they do 2 paintings or 3 paintings in a day and then let a couple days go by but I feel like with that method, before you know it, it's January 30th and tomorrow's the last day. And you're like, I have 13 paintings left to do. You can do that. And some of the benefits of doing something like that, it doesn't have to be paintings, and I'll get into the other things of it, but the benefits of doing something like that is you're really starting off the year with a bang. And if creating every day is a struggle for you, like it is for most of us, then maybe this is something that you need. Maybe having shouted to the rooftops on your social media and to your friends and family and starting something like this is the push you need to finish. It's really hard to make ourselves do the thing that we need to do, whether it's finish a painting or start the new thing, or like there's so many excuses in the back of my head of like, oh, I need to do this instead, or I need to finish that painting that I started a couple months ago, but I could get ahead on podcasts instead, and or do the dishes or whatnot. But doing a challenge like this, it forces me in particular to create, to do the thing that I know I should be doing or that I want to do or that could benefit my art business. And as I lead these challenges, we do the Series 6 challenge where we create 6 really good banging paintings in 6 weeks. This isn't really like that. This is 31 days to create 31 things. So most people, and in the past, I've done small animal portraits. I did a butterfly a day. I have done 31 mural mockups, which if you're wanting to do murals in the coming year, 31 mural mockups, highly encourage. Or say you're just really bad about posting consistently on social media and you're just getting real with yourself. Like, I have an offer to put out there, but I'm really bad at putting it out there. So maybe I just need to make 31 videos of my art and put that out there. Whatever it is, you decide what it is that could best put you in a position to get ahead quickly. I've created some of my best paintings from challenges like this, just making myself do it, telling people about it to hold myself accountable, and just doing it, making time. It doesn't have to be a lot of time, but also I'm busy. You are busy. I know there's a ton of excuses. I know the first thing in your head is, well, I have projects planned. And if you don't have projects planned, then you definitely need this. But if you do, same. I have things planned. And especially as I've been talking about, I have the $100,000 in 100 days plan. And so you might be thinking to yourself, like, okay, but how are you going to create 31 paintings? And then it all works together. And the way I'm planning on doing it, so the thing I'm going to be doing is I really enjoy doing these coloring books still. And I really enjoy, after I put my son to bed, I go and most nights I will create a coloring book page. And then by the end of it, I do 25 pages per coloring book. And so, which means that by the end of this month, I might do 31. I don't know. It depends on, I haven't even picked my theme yet. I have a couple different theme ideas that I've been throwing around in my head. But I'm going to be doing a coloring book page a night. And usually that takes me about an hour, sometimes hour and a half. It just depends on what exactly I'm creating. I might get lazy and do something to where I know I can complete it in 30 minutes. That actually sounds really good. It's just whatever sounds good to you. And what's going to come of that is every night I'm going to post about it. Even though it's not the best content, I'm seeing that on Facebook, my coloring book posts do really well. On Instagram, not as much. On TikTok, I haven't even tried it yet. Really, I haven't even looked at that. But I'm going to be creating 31 coloring pages and sharing those coloring pages every single day on my social media in some different way. I'm going to be trying out video, photo, of a highly edited video. I'm trying, like, I don't know. I'm really not sure. A time lapse. I don't know. I'm going to be doing that and posting it every day. One, because it promotes the challenge. And I think posting about it, I'm posting about it in the Arts Academy Facebook group and all the places. I think it helps to motivate other people, showing people that, hey, I did, this is day 1. This is my first coloring page for the day. Hey, this is day 10. This is my coloring book for the day. It's like, seeing that constantly, especially being in the Arts Academy Facebook group, like you see people posting about it and you see other people making progress, and it just reminds me, okay, I've got to do this too. It's an extra layer of accountability. And I'm going to do some kind of prize at the end of it. I should probably know what that is by now, but I don't. So whatever, some kind of prize, but really like finishing the challenge is a prize in itself, I think. It's just fulfilling whatever goal that you have. And if you really, really don't want to create every single day, maybe it's something business. Maybe you send an outreach email a day. Maybe you send a DM outreach a day. Maybe you apply to a public art call today, and then tomorrow you send out, or you make a post promoting yourself. Like maybe it could be 31 days of promotion in your art business, 31 days of promoting yourself in different ways to test it out. That's what I'm doing. I'm just testing things out, how people have done it in the past. So say you haven't found your style yet. Say, you're kind of all over the place. You're like me. You're a jack of all trades, and you're just painting what everybody wants you to paint. You don't really know what you want to paint. This is a really great challenge to figure that out. And guess what? If you pick a theme and you're like, okay, I'm going to do dancing women with dresses, I'm going to be painting those in different ways, different styles, but that's the theme that I want. If you're 7 days in and you're like, I don't like this, this is not my thing, switch it. I've had students in the past do 7 different days. Like, okay, the first week I'm going to do this theme. And the second week I'm going to do pet portraits. And the third week I'm going to do people portraits or whatever. Like you can test out different series things. Like that's really what I'm doing with my coloring books is I have so many ideas in my head of paintings that I want to make in similar styles to paintings I've already made. And so I'm taking the paintings that I've already made, making them into a coloring book page. And then I'm imagining that painting in a different way. And doing a 31-day challenge and doing my coloring books is pretty much what I'm doing when I'm doing a 31-day challenge. I'm imagining it in a different way. So I made a floating castle coloring book, and it was based on a painting that I wanted to do. And I really wanted to do floating castles. And like, oh, I don't have time to make a floating castle thing a day, or even like I just, and I don't really want to. I don't really want to spend the time to do that and actually sit down and make a full-on painting. That's what the Series 6 challenge is for, right? It's like to make a really good painting. But my motivation just isn't there. So me doing a coloring book page is I'm ironing out the details of maybe what a painting would look like. I'm like, okay, this is the cloud and this is what's on it. And then we have, okay, well, maybe I could do a robot theme and then I could do that. And like, this is what it would look like. And this is how it would be shaded. And then, so I'm like working out all these ideas and it feels really good to get it out on the iPad. I was going to say paper, but as get it out on the iPad and then it's out. It's out there. Okay, I made a coloring book page. I'm going to share it. Cool. and then the next night is let me reimagine that coloring book page. Let me reimagine that cloud with a different cast with a different this and that. And it's just stretching my imagination on the same theme. So I'm basically creating a series but different. It's just, I don't know. I'm playing by my own rules, and I highly suggest you play by your own rules too. But it's like, you, if you were to create something 7 different times, or even 31 different times, there's going to be golden nuggets in there. There were some days when I was creating those castles that was like, okay, today's a sand castle, and it's going to have a shell, and that's it, because that's all I can do. And there's some days I was like, princess castle with rainbows and whatever. It was pretty great. It was whatever I really had time for, what I was feeling, my energy levels that day, which as women we know change by the week, if not the day and time of day. It's yeah, it just getting to iron that out it felt fun for me. And so what feels fun for you while also stretching you a little bit? It's not always fun. It's called a challenge for a reason. It's challenging. Really, the most challenging part is getting myself sat down and starting. Finishing is not so much, as long as I can choose something that's along the level of slightly easy, but still, but still will look cool. One of my favorite recent examples of a student who recently did this is my artist friend, Summer. So last year, I believe it was last year, she did this 31-day challenge, and she's been on the podcast before. Actually, we'll put the link, and if you could put the link to her podcast episode in the notes if you want to go listen to it. But as I was interviewing her for her quit her day job interview this year, she said that it started with the 31-day challenge. She did a pet portrait a day, and she did it in her own kind of way, to where she didn't do it for like much. It was pretty low cost. So you can get paid to do this, by the way. You don't have to just create what you want to create or do. You can ask people to pay you for this crazy idea, right? I know we can totally make this up on our own. So that's what she did. She started off, I think it was doing them for free, and then she asked to be paid, or she was getting paid a small amount and she gradually worked up to a larger amount. I'm not sure, but she got paid for these, some of them, I'm pretty sure. And it ended up working out to show she finally got a roster of people wanting things. And then she started to get booked out. And then she started, okay, well, what does this look like? So maybe I could quit my teaching job this year. And then she quit right at summer. And so Summer quit during the summer. And now I'm going to see her in Costa Rica in a couple of weeks, and she's going to be leading the yoga and Reiki and all this stuff there, which I'm so excited about. But yeah, it's just, if you want to quit your job this year, I'm not saying this is like the end all be all, the only step you need to take, but it helps. Like if I want to make 100K in the year or in the first 100 days, doing something like this is going to help. Even though I know I'm not going to make a ton of money on these coloring books, it still adds to the bigger goal. It still gets me creative and motivated and happy. And it feels good. It feels good to finish something every day in about an hour, because murals take hours and hours and all the things. So it like gives me that. It gives me that like, yeah, you did it. So I wanted to just tell you about it now. I know this is the week of Christmas and downloads are considerably less. So if you're hearing this afterwards, sorry, but I wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up, a little over a week, because we are starting this January 1st. And if you're thinking about starting it with us and you're listening to it before, or heck, if you're listening to this mid-January and you're like, okay, well, February 1st, I'm going to start my 31-day challenge, or I'm going to start it right now and do the last half of January or whatever. Like, it doesn't really matter. But say you're doing this beforehand and you have some prep time. the biggest advice I can give is to make a plan. And I'm telling this to myself too. I'm like, okay, I really need to make my plan. I need to figure out what the coloring book's going to be about. And I've dabbled with a couple different covers for my coloring book. So I've taken a couple different of my paintings and made them into coloring book covers. And I'm just not completely set on which one I'm going to do yet, but I have some ideas. And so get some ideas, like write them down, like go on Pinterest, get inspired, see what other people are doing. I have been so inspired lately by seeing some spray paint art by some artists that are just killing it. And just their stuff is just great. I'm like, I want to just spray paint. I want to just do all this and it's gotten me so motivated by looking at what somebody else is doing. And so check in with yourself. What feels good to you? Check in, look around, maybe see, get some inspiration and get some ideas. And then the best next step is to plan. If you're going to do canvas art, go this week to Michael's or Hobby Lobby or order it on Amazon and order yourself 31 canvases. They could be canvas panels. They could be really small. Buy them in bulk. Let's prep. And I've done this in the past. When I wanted to do canvas art, I got the canvases. I gathered a ton of images on my phone and put them in a folder or on my computer. That way I could just, on a busy day, and there's going to be plenty of busy days in January, I could just go, I could take a canvas that I already had from my studio. I could go on this photo album that I already made and pick something. Or what I did in the first week, usually when I was doing canvas stuff, is I went and pre-drew them out. So I projected some animals on canvases and I did like 10 of them. And that way on really busy days, I could just grab one and start painting. I didn't have to do the sketching. I didn't need to think any more than I needed to. And that's a big thing with this. It's like setting yourself up for success. How can you do that? And the next episode, we're going to create our 2025 marketing plan, or I'm going to tell you mine anyway. And we're going to create it inside of the Artist Academy January 1st. And a big plan of that is figuring out what you want and then figuring out the steps you need to take in order to give yourself the least resistance. Basically, like not have to make a decision that day. I am so much better when I can just go to my to-do list and say, oh, I need to do that. Okay, I'll do that. It's the same thing with something like this. You could even line it out. Actually, I might do that. I'm going to line it out and then I'll screenshot that and post it in the Academy and say, this is what I'm doing. This is the plan. I can deviate from it. But day one, I'm going to do a cloud with a bunny on it. Day two, I'm going to do a cloud with a hippo on it. I don't know, like something fun, and show people how I'm lining it out. And just to help myself. One of my favorite years that I did this was 2020, 2021. I don't know. No, 2021. I really wanted to do glitter clouds. And because I had just painted one and people were raving about it. And I painted this cloud and then I dripped paint and then I put glitter underneath it. And I sold so many prints and I was like, okay, well, this is a go. And so I created 31 paintings in different colors and different ways of that glitter cloud. I took what was working and I made more of it. Marketing tip there. Whatever's working, what's the one painting that people are like, that's so cool? Make it again and again and again and again. Actually, that's one of the options, that one of the covers that I've made. I took my glitter cloud that I knew worked really well, that I knew people loved, and I stuck it on in Procreate and I made I'm not super satisfied with it yet and what it looks like as a coloring book cover, but it's the glitter cloud. And my idea is, okay, if people love this, people love that I make it. What if I made a full coloring book of that? And then I paired it with some glitter gel pens and people could make their own glitter rain cloud. How cool is that? But it's based on something I know to work already. And so what's working for you? What do you think is going to work for you? Test it out. This is the time to do that. What I did last year is I took the half painted paintings in my studio and was like, okay, before I start something new, I'm going to take the first week of this challenge and finish all of the things that I need to finish. And that actually took me through the whole challenge. I finished all the paintings that I started in the previous year because the previous year I had a baby and it was just, yeah. But I still attempted it. Okay. I still attempted the 31-day challenge. And I was talking to another artist a while ago and she was like, I don't want to start it because I don't want to fail. And I was like, wait, what? Like, wait, but like starting something and creating 10 paintings, that's still a win, even though you didn't like, you didn't finish it. That's okay. Like it's kind of like my motive of like shooting for the moon. And even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. It's just like that. And so maybe it's just a practice that we all need to just make those big goals. Because if you're going to make a big goal for the first 100 days of the year, you can make a goal to finish 31 things. And this can be like the micro goal of the 100, Like if you're really wanting to do the outreach or whatever, that's like just this is the small potatoes of the 100-day challenge. This is like a more attainable thing. And you're not going to think that on day 23, you're going to be like, this is lasting forever. Can this be done? But I think something like that kind of like, okay, this is kind of hard. Like I just gave a student recently a challenge to post 100 things in the last 2 weeks. So in my small coaching group, I set the bar pretty high for them and I check in and we do accountability and we do prizes and everything. And so we meet every week. And I was like, okay, these next 2 weeks, I have a goal for you to make 100 posts. And I was talking and they were like, okay, this is like really hard. This is not sustainable. And I'm like, no, I know. Like yeah, but it's possible. And she did it. And it was so cool. And I was like, but it's like having that goal of like, okay, like this is what we can do. It doesn't have to last forever, but I think it's a good start. And then take a day off and then make another goal and then do it again. Okay, that's really all I had for you this week. I'm gonna keep it short and I hope you have a great happy holidays. And I'm not doing another podcast episode this week. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do double episodes in the coming year. Like I said, I made a goal of, putting out 2 episodes a week for the last 3 months. I did it. It is a lot of work. I am not sure that I'm going to keep up that momentum. I don't know. I'm not sure. But if you have any thoughts on that, if you've really liked the way we've been doing it with taking back the old interviews and some new interviews mixed in, but then doing a solo episode a week and just, it's been a lot, but it's been fun. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that I can take on 100K in 100 days and that and 31-day challenge. And like, I don't know, but I might try. I don't know, but just let that be like maybe motivation for you. If I can do it, you can do it. And if I have big goals that require big action. And so if you have big goals too, but you're not required to do big action, then maybe that doesn't match. But okay, really though, that's all I have for you. If you're wanting to join in we're doing a 2025 marketing goal setting plan within the Artist Academy. It's my $37 a month coaching group. And we help you with all the business side of it and teach you how to paint and do all the fun challenges inside. We're going to be doing the 31-day challenge inside of there. So if you want daily motivation and people posting and seeing what other people are creating and getting inspired by it, join our Artist Academy Facebook group. It's only $37 a month. You can cancel at any time. That's all I have. Okay. I thank you so much for listening and I will see you next week. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Artist Academy podcast. If you could do me a huge favor and share this episode on social media if you liked it, or share it with a friend, or so. I'm trying to get the word out to as many artists as possible to be able to help coach as many artists as possible through the art and business wisdom that is shared within these episodes. I so appreciate every single time somebody shares an episode or a clip or whatnot on Instagram and tags me, I'm like, oh, people are listening. That's so cool. I also appreciate when anybody messages me and tells me, hey, that episode really helped me do blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, good. Love it. So I just wanted to say I appreciate it when any of you do that. So thank you. I also wanted to remind you that if you are not where you want to be in your art business, you're not making the money that you want to make yet. And if you've been going at it a while and you're like, okay, this isn't going as fast as I wanted, or I'm just not receiving the results that I wanted, then I want to challenge you to think like, what other thing could you be doing? Could you be stretching yourself a little bit further? Could you be going out of your comfort zone a little bit more? Or maybe it's time to hire help of somebody who's been there and has done that and has been through the challenging times that you have and has made videos on how I've gotten through it and how I've done things better and all the behind the scenes within my Artist Academy membership. It's only $37 per month, cancel anytime. And it showcases everything that I have learned in my art business. And it helps you learn to get there a little bit faster or a lot faster in terms of some of my students who I have helped quit their jobs and go full time. And some even make six figures. We have plenty of six-figure episodes here on the podcast if you want to dig back into those as well. But the resources are there and it's up to you to know what you need, especially going into 2025. If 2024 did not go the way that you thought it would, or it's just freaking slow growth, maybe there's something you can add, and whether it's the membership where you can dive into content at any time, or I have this other small coaching group that I meet with every single week. So every Monday we meet and I give you a task of something to do that week that will help grow your art business the ways that I'm doing it too. So I'm basically just telling you, hey, I'm doing this week within my art business. How about we all go out and do this? And then I'll hold you accountable. And then I'll check in with you next week to make sure you did it. And I'll be here for you directly in this small group that we have. Currently we have 6, and I'm opening up maybe 6 more spots, maybe 7. I don't know. But I want to take on another small coaching group because I'm seeing the impact that it has on my own business and the people who are in it. And I really like this. I like the energy that comes with every Monday meeting with other artists and talking strategy and figuring out how we can both make more money in our art business. So if you're not scared to make a bigger investment than $37 a month, which is the membership, if you're not scared to make a slightly bigger one to get the bigger jobs and have more accountability because you've decided that 2025 is the year you are going to do it no matter what. That's the energy that I want in this small coaching group. That's the energy that I want around me all the time. It's, hey, I'm doing this. I'm going all in, not at the sake of family time and free time and all that. But like, I am going to be super productive in the time that I need to be. And I promise I'm going to do exactly what you say. Then I want to invite you to join my small coaching group. We meet every Monday and you can be personally coached by me all year. Go to the link here. I have different links for if you want to just apply for the $37 a month membership. If you want to go into the small group coaching and get more information, I have everything. All the links are here. So you can go to artistacademy.co or artistacademy.co/2025 is for the small group coaching. But just check the notes and you will see all the things. Okay. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Artist Academy podcast. I will see you next week.